In January this year, I published on Twitter a report that uncovered financial and ethical misconduct by Pride Toronto. And this report was based on thousands of documents obtained through access to information requests with the federal government, in particular, the Department of Canadian Heritage. Now, what I found is that in 2019, Pride Toronto was awarded 3 grants worth $1.85 million. Now, although Pride Toronto received the federal grant funds, none of the proposed projects were actually implemented. And this is where the onion begins to peel in terms of my research. One of these grants for $600,000 was for community support, multiculturalism, and anti-racism initiatives. However, Pride was using this grant to demand Indigenous artists sign over legal ownership of their artwork. They attempted to take artistic property rights from Indigenous artists using this grant that was supposed to support artists. Now, my report's central argument is that the unethical and fraudulent conduct by Pride Toronto amounts to settler colonialism. Now, too often we view settler colonialism as being something that happened in the past, but Indigenous leaders, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and the report into missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls have reminded us time and time again that settler colonialism is deeply embedded in our institutions in the present. And Pride Toronto is no exception to that. So when Pride Toronto claimed that these partnerships with Indigenous artists and communities, they were taking grant money that was supposed to go to these communities and instead used it for their own operations. So this taking is an example of settler colonialism. When Pride Toronto demanded that Indigenous artists sign over legal ownership of their artwork, this is a taking of Indigenous artistic rights. But it's also a taking of culture, and this is an example of settler colonialism.